In Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the assassination of Yasser al-Fulani gives way to the 2011 US invasion of the Middle East. In the mission Charlie Don't Surf, acronymized as CDS, you play as Sergeant Paul Jackson, a member of the 1st Force Recon Marines. Unbeknownst to everyone, this level would become the most broken in Call of Duty speedrunning history. Here is an explanation of how we skip Charlie Don't Surf. Before this video officially starts, I want to give a huge shout out to Survivor. Survivor created a video in November 2022, explaining how the skip used in CDS impacted the history of Call of Duty 4 speedrunning. The video is extremely well made, and I highly recommend checking it out after you watch this video. The link to his video will be in the description. Survivor has made major contributions to the speedrunning community. He greatly deserves any support you send him his way. Now let's officially begin the video. I will quickly run down how you would casually play CDS, highlighting the 5 major objectives needed in order to complete the mission. We will use these highlighted objectives later in the video to show how broken this mission will become. After a short helicopter ride at the start of the mission, you and your squadron head northeast towards the designated target building.
Second squad on me to the target building. Move! Set up the blocking position. Let's go!
Upon reaching the target building, you and your squad breach inside, clearing the building out until no one is left alive.
Load the charge. Breaching! Go, go, go!
After exiting the building, your squadron is then instructed to head towards the TV station.
Heads up. I just got word that Al-Assad is broadcasting half a clip east of here at the TV station. We're gonna move out on foot and take down the package there. Move out.
You encounter dozens of enemies along the way, taking them out as you make your way towards the TV station. Upon reaching the TV station, you and your squadron breach inside, clearing out all of the enemies as you move in.
Do it. Breaching! Go, go, go!
The main newsroom is dangerous, as 3 different waves of enemies spawn. Some enemies have RPGs, with some of them located on the balconies of the 2nd floor. The enemies tend to maneuver around the entire room, making it difficult to know if a specific part of the room is cleared or not.
Room's clear. Move up. Al-Assad should be on the 2nd floor.
After clearing the newsroom, your squadron teams up with Griggs as you head upstairs towards the broadcasting room.
All in, Marines. Stay frosty.
After reaching the broadcasting room, Vasquez tells your team to breach inside.
Do it.
Your team finds the room empty, with no Al-Assad inside. Griggs then hijacks the broadcast, inserting his mixtape into the master server.
Roger that command. Out.
A short time later, the screen fades to black, ending the level. That is how you would usually play CDS, with the 5 main objectives being reaching the target building, clearing the target building, reaching the TV station, clearing the TV station, and reaching the broadcasting room. In the speedrun, however, we only complete 2 objectives, reaching the TV station and reaching the broadcasting room, potentially killing 0 enemies along the entire way. Instead of playing the level like this, what if I told you speedrunners play the level like this? Or perhaps like this? Or maybe like this? If we use noclip, we can put ourselves in front of the door Vasquez opens after we clear the newsroom. We can then run to the end, hitting the breaching trigger.
Do it.
A short while after, the game will freeze. Griggs' rap music will begin playing, and the screen fades, ending the level. We now know that your squadron is not needed to end the level. This leads us into our first problem, getting past the barrier preventing us from entering the main street. The most popular way of getting over this barrier is mantling on top of this roof using this car. By getting on top of the car, we can mantle on top of one of the metal poles sticking out of the building. Once successful, you'll then be on the roof. After that, you can perform a bounce off the blue car, getting over a wall, allowing you to get past the barbed wire. In COD, a bounce occurs when you jump into a slanted object with high velocity. The sloped object then bounces you upwards, typically in the direction where you are facing. This is not the only way to get past this barrier, however. Another way is by performing a stance elevator against this metal wall. If you can get your player's position in between and under an object preventing you from crouching or standing up, the game gets confused. The game doesn't know if it should allow you to elevate your stance or keep you in the stance that you are currently in. The game then shoots your player upwards on top of the object. This is known as an elevator and is used in various areas in COD 4 and World at War. You can also perfectly jump onto the corner of the wall, allowing you to jump over the barrier. You can also entirely go out of bounds and get back inbounds later in the level. This route was discovered and used by Blue Target in his Speedrun mod Veteran Deathless run. The link to his run will be in the description. In order to get back in bounds, Blue Target performs a sprint elevator against a tree. The sprint elevator works fundamentally the same as other elevators. However, you can slowly move your player into the position that elevates you on top of the object. From the roof next to the tree, he strafe jumps onto a ledge that allows him to go further out of bounds. The elevator here is not required, but is more consistent than trying to slope upwards on top of the ledge. He then gets back in bounds by jumping on top of the edge of a wall near the main street. This allows him to jump back into the map. After you get past the barrier, you then move along the leftmost side of the map, as this is the fastest way to the TV station. Assuming you didn't spawn too many enemies, you now have the option to grab an RPG. The route after this point varies on the goal of the runner. For now, we will continue on with the most common way of completing the second part of the skip. After we grab the RPG, we now need to find a way to get into the TV station, as Vasquez is waiting for the player at the target building. The only feasible way of getting into the TV station without Vasquez is by getting into one of the 3 windows. These windows do not have collision preventing the player from going through them. This means we are now able to hit the triggers necessary to end the level. By performing a sprint elevator next to this building, we are able to get onto its roof, allowing us to be higher than the windows. From here, we are able to hit a precise bounce off the car in front of us that gives us enough height to get into the window. Notice how I shoot my RPG downwards while bouncing off the car. In Call of Duty, RPGs move you slightly in the direction opposite of where you shoot them. In this clip, I'm shooting an RPG multiple times per second. It keeps pushing me until I fall off the roof. Here, my RPG is pushing me upwards, giving me extra height to make it into the window. After you land in the window, you can shoot the glass with your weapon, allowing you to hit the ending triggers. The other route used to get on top of the roof in order to do the car bounce is faster, but much more difficult. After grabbing the RPG, you then climb up the roof across the one you are standing on. From there, you shoot your RPG downwards while sprint jumping across the gap towards the other roof. Once you are on top of this building, you then do an extremely difficult bounce in order to reach the roof across the TV station. Now you have to do the car bounce without an RPG, a feat that is difficult to consistently pull off. After you make it into the window, you can hit the ending triggers as you would using the other route. I will now give a technical explanation as to why the ending works the way it does. I used a tool created by Kesh that allows us to view trigger locations. The link to the tool's GitHub will be in the description. The tool shows us that we will hit a trigger named End Positions. This trigger enables a function that allows us to trigger the ending breach despite no one being there. The function named Final Breach holds the logic that finishes the rest of the level. This screenshot of the function has most of its code removed, so it is easier to follow along. After you hit the End Positions trigger in the Final Breach trigger, the game waits for the breachers to be ready. The breachers spawn with Griggs as soon as you are done clearing the newsroom. Since the breachers do not exist, the game skips checking if the breachers are ready, setting this flag to true. Since Griggs himself hasn't spawned yet either, the game skips over his voice line. After a half-second wait, the last trigger waits to be hit. After the trigger is hit, Vasquez says his line. The game then waits 3 different times, executing code that isn't necessary to ending the level. The wait time tallies up to a total of 17 seconds. After these 17 seconds, the function named Trigger Bryson Griggs is executed. This function executes both Griggs and Vasquez ending functions. However, the game freezes after executing Griggs' function, believing there to be an infinite loop. I am still not 100% sure what causes the game to freeze, but it may be the fact that Griggs' animations are skipped over as he doesn't exist. Therefore, this entire block of code is executed at the same time, whereas if Griggs existed, it would be executed after he finishes specific animations. This means these 4 lines of code execute at the same time, and the game may mistake it as an infinite loop. By the grace of the Call of Duty gods, the function named endDialogSequence manages to get called before any threat is killed by the game. This function plays Griggs' rap music after waiting 9.25 seconds. 21.5 seconds later, the function next mission is called. This function ends the level, making the entire skip possible. And that is how speedrunners skip Charlie Don't Surf. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Any support is greatly appreciated. I was inspired to create this video after my video on All Gillied Up recently gained a lot of traction. It is currently sitting over 20,000 views. The link to that video will be in the description if you have yet to see it. The background video is SirBongo's 231.584 CDS world record. A link to this video will be in the description. Huge shout out to the COD speedrunning community for providing feedback while I created this video. A reminder that links to Survivor's video, Blue Target's Deathless Veteran Run, and the Call of Duty Speedrun Discord are in the description. Please check them all out if you can. Thanks for watching, until next time.